There is a new game mode with a few interesting things and a lot of free rewards for maintenance dolls for new players, and even for veterans is always something we are lacking. So let's talk about the Solar Raid Museum and if it's worth doing or not. Before we start, as usual, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, not Emma, we'll talk about her on a different video. And if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the first impressions for Emma don't really matter because we need to wait for Enwa. Without Enwa, she loses half her kit and it's just not really worth using or testing. For example, if Blank came out, imagine testing her without Nord, right? Doesn't make sense. It's the same here. I will talk about that later on a different video. Let's talk a little bit about Solar Raid Museum and how this works. There are multiple game modes, different buffs, different rewards. What's going on here, Sefhi? Let's start with the basics. As you can see, every single boss has different buffs you can take advantage of. For Blacksmith is core damage, for Ultra is pierce damage, and for Motherwell is distribute damage. But there is also a weekly buff that will be different. In this case, it's for Motherwell, and if you enter Motherwell, you can click right here, and you see that this weekly boss is increasing distribute damage by an extra 35%. That is huge. And this is for new players and people who don't have a full roster to take advantage of this in order to fully clear challenge and also push further in the no limit game mode we'll talk about in a second. So how does challenge work? How does the no limit game mode works? The basic game mode you will unlock anytime they add a new boss here, it's challenge. You will have to fight at the time when the Solar Raid was released, #1 position on the leaderboards. In this case, it's a Chinese bro, and he did 2.7 billion. So by today's standards, you will be able to clear these 3 bosses no problem at all. As they add new bosses into here, that might get more complicated and might be more of a pain in the ass, but for now, it's pretty simple. After you beat this #1 position, right, this 2.7 billion damage, you will receive a lot of rewards based on how much damage you're doing. You will also get all the frames, frame 1, frame 2, and frame 3, which is nice. They do have a small R right there, indicating this is a replica, so it's not the original one, so we can still bully people and be like, oh, you didn't get that frame when it came out, you only have the replica. Bring back bullying, absolutely, absolutely. The jokes aside, the rewards are pretty good. These are the rewards right here. Every single challenge mode has the same things. 3 frames, 160 random, I think it's random materials, pretty sure you cannot select them, right? Corresponding, selected items, even fucking better, even better. So 160 that you can select for specific treasures, and then maintenance kits, you're getting 30 gold ones, 60 purple ones, and 170 blue ones. So it is a lot of resources, and this is worth doing for everyone, not only for veterans, but also for new players, because these materials will always lack in them, so it's always nice. That said, after you beat the normal game mode, which you will have to use 5 teams by the way, even if you beat this score with just 1 team, you still have to use 5 teams. You cannot quit because you are resetting the damage. What you can do is using 1 team, beating the damage, which most people will do, and then just using 1 character and exiting directly. You don't need to be wasting 3 minutes with the other teams. You can just exit the team, but you have to use 5 of them. A pain in the ass, but it is what it is. Now, after you beat the normal game mode, you will unlock the second version of the Solar Raid Museum All mode, whatever the fuck is gonna be called, which is the no limit. No limit brings more rewards, more difficulty, and a lot of damage required in order to fully max this out. This will be exactly the same. As you can see, you will need to use 5 different teams, and you can challenge this as many times as you want. There is no limit, which is pretty good. This also means we'll be able to be testing bosses on an environment where characters are set at level 400, even though some of them I don't like because the mechanics they have. But as they add more and more bosses here, this means we have a lot of different testing grounds for newly released characters. That's it, going back to No Limit. No Limit will give you more rewards, as you can see, a lot of extra maintenance kit boxes, which is pretty nice, but it's also giving you some of these museum points. Now, Sefhi, what is this museum points? What the fuck is this? Well, if we take a picture here and we open Paint, because I don't have anything to zoom in, there is 2 different ones. There is the total medals you have collected, based on all of the different Solar Raids, and there is the whole one. Whole one means it's only for this specific Solar Raid, and then the others are for everything. This is nothing but a flex. Okay, like you will enter No Limit, do as much damage as you can, going by different phases. The max right now is 100, as you can see, and then you will be getting all of these medals. These medals are, once again, nothing but the flex for your rankings. If you go down here, there is a new ranking for Solo Raid Museum, not only for total, but also for the Hall 1, Hall 2, Hall 3, Hall 4, and they will keep adding more as they add newer ones. So once again, if you care about your rewards, I will say this is important for you. As you can see, for me, I don't care. I've always said the same, this is an awful system. I heavily dislike this system because it's based on how lucky you are on your server, how many wells there are on your server, and if the server is maybe one of those reroll servers that it's abandoned or not. Again, of course, there's always gonna be maybe a few servers where the competition is actually fair between all of the participants, but let's be clear, this is a gacha game, it's never gonna be fair. So in my case, I have a few wells that always outspend me, no real reason to push for those first positions, just for a few cosmetics, again, in my opinion. That said, that is the Solo Raid Hall Museum, or whatever it's called. It's a pretty good game mode just for the materials. Again, I think everyone should be doing this because these materials are always a necessity, even more so for new characters, which, by the way, I forgot to put a doll on my Emma. I was like, wait, did I put the doll on my Emma? I did not. I am not leveling up this doll, so I'm just going to be putting one purple and leaving it at a phase 0. I will be making a separate video for the first impressions on Emma, but once again, testing her without Emma is just stupid, makes no sense, and we can talk a little bit about how she feels, but again, when you're using a character without half of her kit, it's kind of iffy, let's say, right? That said, that's gonna be everything for the Solo Raid Museum, and for the new game mode, for those rewards that, again, you should be 100% doing and participating to get. I don't think we're gonna be doing guides for the normal game mode, but maybe for the challenge version, in order to reach the Gauge 100, we might be making some for those, depending how hard they are, we'll try later. That said, it's gonna be it for this one. We're gonna be live later doing MLB pools for Emma, and as usual, just doing our daily gacha grind. All that aside, love you all bastards, good luck with your pool dinner dates, and I will see you in the next one.